You know, we just tweeted that this one will air February 14th.
Oh, Valentine's Day?
Valentine's Day.
Don't tell my wife.
And someone retweeted they can't wait to see it.
Oh my gosh.
You're getting popular.
Well, look out. I've got a new career coming.
That's right.
So we'll see how that goes.
And what just happened the last 2 days?
So the last 2 days, we had the SIIM Board of Managers Strategic Retreat. It's a mouthful. But we've actually been here for 2.5 days, locked in a big room together,
Yes.
trying to figure out the future of our society. And so I think we're going to share a little bit with you all today about where we think we're going.
But first, welcome to Updates from SIIM with Cheryl and Jim, episode 2.
Oh, that's kind of like Star Wars.
Yeah. But yeah, no, there was a lot of positive feedback from the first one. And so we're going to keep going with the series and giving updates on what's happening. The board retreat, like Jim just mentioned, is one. But also, since the airing in October, you have a new job, Jim.
I do have a new job.
Tell us.
And so I'm now at the Chief Transformation Officer at my organization, Honor Health, down in Phoenix, Arizona. But it highlights something that's really unique about SIIM, and that is we see development of our members such that they're not in the same role. So we think about our imaging informatics professionals. I'm a CIIP, and it's pretty common that as people develop, other folks in the organization notice that we create the skills, we give people the training so that they're great leaders. And so I'm kind of a good example of that.
You are. 2 other board members have new jobs within the last couple months. So yeah, congrats to you.
Thank you very much.
And also new since the last airing is our new website.
Brand new website.
Yeah.
Great looking
Pretty exciting. Yeah.
Continuing to evolve too. And again, I think we said this last time, but just a shout out to the SIIM staff and Priyanka. There's people, and there's people that we recognize. I love the human touch to it.
Yeah. And one last but huge new thing, just this month, SIIMU.
This
Unbelievable.
is massive. And so maybe you should talk a little bit more about that, because this really is changing the way we interact with our members.
Our online learning management system year-round, and to kick it off, we didn't go small. We went large with...
Go big or go home, right? That's what they say?
The NIC. And wow, what an amazing week. Great feedback from the radiology residents, from the faculty, logging on to SIIMU for the first time, and Zoom, and they said, this is so easy.
The National Imaging Informatics curriculum, something we've done before in concert with RSNA. We're grateful for their partnership.
Yes.
But this is how we educate radiology residents about informatics, something that many of them didn't get access to before. And it's starting to spread out. It's not just radiology residents, and it's not just North America. We're starting to see an international presence here.
Yes, this was the first time. You're right. Canada participated. So yes, thank you to RSNA, to Tessa Cook, Nabil, and Kathy Andrew, the course directors, and SIIM staff for launching SIIMU so that the NIC could be global.
Great stuff.
Stay tuned. So the Strategic Planning Retreat happens once a year with the Board of Directors and the committee chairs. We've had, 21 people that convened here the last 2 days in the conference room next door here at SIIM's HQ. And we kicked it off this year, Jim, with the environmental scan. Tell us, what did you think of that?
Well, a couple of things. This was emblematic of your leadership. One of the things we've done differently this year at SIIM is starting to think about not just our vision of what's going on in the future, but leveraging some of the work coming from other societies about what's happening in the world. So everybody talks about the changing generations that are out there. I'm a Gen Xer, which is rapidly becoming old, but we've got millennials and Generation Z. But the way we learn is changing. Technology is changing. And so one of the things we started off with is taking what's called an environmental scan and looking at 41 to 46 drivers of change that are out there. And then we broke out into subgroups, and we took SIIM and we thought about our strategic plan and how it matched up with some of these. So for example, one of the things that I was thinking about was a lot about transparency. We have a high degree of trust in our members, and our members have in us. But if we don't maintain our transparency, we could easily lose that trust.
Yes.
So one of the things that's going to come out of this meeting is a greater transparency about our conflicts of interest, about how we make decisions. And in no small part, this kind of dialogue is an example of how we're taking on new ways of communicating with you, our members,
Yes.
to let you know what's going on with us.
And we hope you respond with questions. I mean, we're happy. That's why we're here.
Yeah, tweet us out.
Yeah.
You know, we're both very active on Twitter, so if you have questions for us, things you want us to cover in these sessions, questions you have about the societies. We'll talk later about other ways to get involved, but Twitter, we'll just start here, a little sneak peek. You can get involved with us and let us know what's going on.
And I want to give a shout out to my professional society, the American Society of Association Executives, who, through research with their foundation, came up with these drivers of change and a lot of information for us to think about. And to know that we're already working, you just launched a task force on diversity and inclusion.
Dr. Mindy Yang is leading that.
Perfect. And to know that we are hitting some of these new trends, and yet there's more that we need to be aware of as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
So after the strategic planning retreat that evening, we did something different.
We did something very
That was
different.
kinda crazy.
We went to your house.
My house for a reception.
And
the board and committee chairs.
I'm not going to give away your secret location of your house because
know.
we don't know what would happen if I were to do that.
Yeah.
But I will give people a hint. It was
It's a long commute. Don't
I could have walked there.
Yeah.
I mean, as an Arizonan, it was a little
Yeah.
bit chilly, but it was not far at all.
So I wanted everybody else to experience my commute, my daily commute, which I have to say I love.
It's pretty amazing. So you know, one of our active members, Jonathan Shoemaker, works in Palo Alto, and I think oftentimes commutes from Sacramento. So he's got a 3-hour commute. What your commute is 3 minutes, I think.
Yes,
So
if that.
it's pretty amazing.
I know.
Pretty lucky.
But it was so fun to have everybody mingling and being able to talk about versus just, sitting at a table at a restaurant. Although we did that last night, and that's good too. Yeah.
Pool. So we were able to enjoy.
There you go.
In your basement, we had. You've got an amazing basement. It's beautifully set up. I'm very jealous. And so Safwan Halabi and I were playing pool with each other.
Yeah.
We're both on the West Coast, so we both reminded each other about how we don't have basements on the West Coast. So it's a very much of an East Coast thing. We were very jealous that you have a basement.
I hadn't thought about that.
Well, come and visit us, and I'll show you no basement.
We'll do that. So then we came the next morning and started off with our actual board meeting.
We did.
And that's where the committees and the task forces all
I've already
kick in.
forgotten it all. I think it's
Right?
gone in one ear and
No,
out
and
the
there
other.
was a whole big discussion on machine learning, Jim.
Oh, that's right.
Talk
Machine
about
learning.
that
Oh, yeah,
because
artificial
you did such a
intelligence.
great job navigating and keeping that conversation on task.
Well, I feel
That
like
was hard.
I need some more vitamin D, but clearly my dementia's kicked
D?
in. It's really maybe B12. I don't
Maybe
know. One of those vitamins. I don't even know.
You're the
Did I go to
physician.
medical school? I don't know. But so one of the things
Yeah.
that we've talked about, machine learning, artificial intelligence, one of the biggest things that's absolutely changing the landscape, and to be honest, has really reinvigorated our society. We've
Absolutely.
seen almost clearly a doubling in scientific abstracts that are coming in,
Right.
Increase in attendance at our meetings, a whole second
And
meeting,
SIIM.
SIIM going on
Yeah.
just in San Francisco. Next one is in Austin, and machine learning is absolutely massive.
Yeah.
But one of the things that's been a challenge for us is there's so many other groups that are working in this space.
Right.
So we spent a couple of hours digging into where should SIIM focus its efforts around artificial intelligence. Should we just be in education? Should we put together just the data sets for training these new algorithms? Should we try to come up with the algorithms ourselves? These seem like esoteric questions, and maybe for the lay public it would be, but for our members, a lot of them have pretty strong feelings about where we should go.
Yeah, and so I thought we came up with some good direction.
Yeah. Do you want
Education.
Do you think we
was-
can release? Do you think we can release that secret sauce to our membership? Do you think that would be a good idea?
Well, you say.
Well, I'm the chair. Let's do it.
Okay.
Let's do it.
All right.
I hope
So
I don't get in trouble.
education.
Education is one.
Yeah.
Real big focus on research.
Research.
Right. So
Yeah.
research, not just the publications, but also issuing these challenges. Data set challenges, and creating some infrastructure for more around research.
And we might be doing a challenge.
We might
Stay
be doing.
tuned.
Oh, that snuck
Don't
out.
tell that. Don't
oh,
tell that.
no, we're going to get in trouble.
Okay. And then publications. So through JDI.
Journal of
looking at-
Digital Imaging.
Yeah.
Very
and
good.
then the
Standards. That was
There,
an
that
interesting
was-
thing.
Yeah.
So standards.
That was good.
There's a million standards, so you need one, right? So the issue around artificial intelligence right now is everybody's doing things differently, and at some point we're going to have a way for all of these different algorithms to work together and to work with our existing technology. Our vendors are asking for it, our members are asking for it,
Right.
and it's not as maybe crazy exciting as generating the new machine learning algorithms, but it's going to be important. So we're going to do that.
But for it to get to the end user and be marketable, standards are pretty important.
How do you get out of the lab, and into production? It's going to be standards. So yeah, we're going to be working on that.
So machine learning, that was a great topic. And then what came after that?
Well, and then we got into,
did we do?
I think lunch. I think it was
that
lunch.
was what?
Which was
That's important.
I think it was a yummy lunch.
Yeah.
But then we got into the regular, essentially we get together once a year to make sure that all of the committees are, we understand what everybody's working on. Again, it doesn't sound very exciting, but in fact, if everybody talks about what they're going to do for the next year, it gives other people a chance to say, oh, I was going to do that too. And so rather than us duplicate our efforts, it's a chance to sort of decide who's going to do what. And it turns out, like, if I need you to do something, you now know it. And I can say, gosh, Cheryl, if you don't get X done, then I can't do my part.
Right. And I think, last I counted, 6 new committees and task forces within the last year,
No
Jim?
wonder you're tired.
And it's a lot to onboard these new committees and let the existing committees understand what the new scopes are and how they interrelate, and are there overlaps that we need to mitigate or synergies that we can leverage.
Yeah. I mean, if we think about it, I don't think we have a full measurement, but we think that SIIM is probably doing about 50% more work now, in terms of things.
I think
And remember, everybody's a volunteer. You listening at home, you think, well, why would you spend so much time doing this? Because everybody's a volunteer. They're getting together maybe once a month, every couple of months to do this work. They're very busy. People have whole lives outside of things. So just trying to keep coordinated is pretty tough.
Yeah.
I think we did a good job.
you did a phenomenal job.
Gonna make me blush.
Yeah. But 2020 is our 40th anniversary.
2020, you heard it here first. We need to get a hashtag together.
Yeah, and so some of the committees are even thinking about how they can make a splash at our 40th.
So
maybe awards and honors would be an example there.
Awards and honors, what 40 years? So what we're talking about is that, our societies, which started off with RISC and then evolved to SCAR and is now a SIIM, we've been around for over 40 years. And this will be our 40th anniversary of our first meeting. So we're going to make it a big one. We'll be announcing soon where that will be.
We don't know where we're going to be, but coming
Another
soon.
trade secret, not leaking that one out.
Not yet.
Good. All right.
So anything else from the board meeting that stuck out, or the retreat, I should say, that is like in your mind a big takeaway?
I think the last piece that we'll just share is many of us think about our own backyards. We certainly think about North America, but one of the things that's been a huge success is the Global Ambassadors Program.
Yes.
So one of the things that SIIM has done in partnership with RAD8 is we've had a number of SIIM members go to developing countries and help with their imaging informatics. Oftentimes, these folks have a very different perspective on technology and are just beginning to develop. And just being there a week can bring tremendous benefit. We're going to evolve now and bring a second phase to that and set up. This is incredible. So we're going to set up the ability for people from these developing nations to come back
here
to the SIIM meeting and begin to bring knowledge, gather knowledge, but then bring it back to their country.
Yeah.
And so if this becomes a bi-directional exchange, this is going to be very exciting.
I love it.
It fits our mission. It's literally talking about changing the world one step at a time, but a global approach. So very
and
exciting.
can I tell you my takeaway as a governance geek?
Let's bring it.
I got so excited listening to the different committees actually then start referring to how they can work with others or, for example, last January, we didn't have a membership committee.
We didn't.
And now we do, and they're phenomenal. It just makes me so excited to see that infrastructure building, and like you said, the work is increasing, but the ultimate goal is for benefits to our members, and I think we'll be seeing that more and more, right?
Absolutely.
And that's a good segue to the top 10 ways to get involved with SIIM.
Oh my gosh, we are not stopping.
No, we are not. And so a new campaign coming So watch for this, but we're going to give you a sneak peek today at try to say that 10 times fast.
Yeah. Tongue twisters.
10 top ways of getting involved with SIIM.
I hope we have this listed out because I couldn't remember all these if I tried.
Okay, you can use your cheat sheet.
Okay.
But the first one, so yeah, submit abstracts. You talked about the fact that that number was up for our annual meeting that's in a couple months, and submit to SIIM. That'll be opening right after the annual meeting.
Yep.
But definitely your scientific abstracts, that's what we are all about.
Number 1.
That's number 1. Number 2, you go.
Okay, number 2, I get to look at this. What about taking the innovation challenge? Maybe you have an idea of some new way of dealing with imaging informatics technology, and it's pretty broad.
Yeah.
There's a prize money of $10,000 out there for you to win this challenge. So we need your deadline. The deadline is March 22nd. So if we have your submission by then, you can have a chance to win $10,000. More importantly, what we've seen is these innovations have oftentimes led to startup companies. So you get a lot of good press, you get a lot of input from other industry leaders, so it's pretty exciting.
Yeah, take a problem and solve it and let us know how you did that.
Boom.
Number 2. So number 3, present educational content. We need more content, right? We keep hearing that.
We do, and you don't have to be a professor at a university to do this. The thing that's great about SIIM is that those that teach are the people that are on the front lines doing this work every day. So we have huge numbers of imaging informatics professionals that lead this content, that teach it. So we'd love to have, if you've got ideas about how to create content, send an email to info@siim.org. It's a way to get involved. And on any of these things, we'd love to get your ideas. We'd love to get it into our new online library, and so we can teach literally the world about it.
That was number 3. Number 4, participate in a community. That IP listserv has been so active lately. Are you on it or not?
I am on it. So, for people looking at home, right? So we have this tool, this email listserv, right? So you subscribe, and we have discussions with people about, hey, I'm trying to have this device talk to this particular machine, or I'm trying to do something technological, and you can get to experts. This is really deep in the weeds stuff, but there may only be 2 people in the country that know how to do things, and the listserv really drives you.
So you post your question, and boom, answers come right back.
It's kind of like magic black box.
I think so.
But there's people behind it.
That's right.
Crazy.
And there's another community, the SIIM.
Yes.
Enterprise imaging community too.
So another place where you can you can get access to talent that is very hard to find out there. Who are the people that are doing enterprise imaging? And by that, what we mean is not just radiology, cardiology, but ophthalmology, digital pathology, endoscopy, all these other pieces. So that community, join it. There's again, if you don't know how to do it, send an email to info@siim.org, and we'll get you plugged in.
And or go to the website, and under communities, drop down to SIIM or the IP. That gives you all the information. So that was number 4.
Number 4.
Participate in a community. Number 5, your turn.
Become a JDI reviewer. Say you've always had a yearning to review academic articles. This is your chance, right? So we need reviewers. We have a tremendous amount of articles coming in from new original research being created throughout the world, and we need reviewers to look at these articles and do what's called peer review. Peer review means that when I create original scientific material, my peers or other people that are experts in that read that material and they say, yes, this is groundbreaking new work, or maybe you need to flesh out some of these other areas. Maybe are your statistics valid? Are your conclusions valid? It's kind of a little bit esoteric, but it's really critical for the scientific process. So we need more reviewers.
And I heard just, what was it, yesterday during the JDI report, our editor asking for more reviewers. So we do need more. And so number 6, to piggyback onto the JDI, you could submit a manuscript.
Yes.
We need more scientific manuscripts, research.
So if you've been doing original research that's out there, and it doesn't have to be complex computer science. If it is, that's totally fine. But maybe you've got a new project that's going on at your organization. Maybe you're dealing with quality issues. Maybe you're dealing with business problems within your imaging department. The journal publishes a lot of wide ranges of materials. But so think broadly about submitting your articles to us.
Number 7, and you're going to have to enumerate on this one, Jim. Participate in the hackathon. What's the hackathon?
So the hackathon, which scares a lot of people, it's
Right?
not scary at all. It's pretty fun.
Because usually when you're hacking, that's not a good thing.
Well, I'm going to show my I'm not even going to go down that path because I already have, like, the comments are going to blow up about how I need to get a social life. But clearly, so the hackathon is a place where we come together and we say people who actually write code, right? So these are programmers, and we teach them about how to use some of the materials that we put into what's called the SIIM stack, the computer systems that show how to do things like HL7 Fire, DICOM Web, and how people can, in a space of a day or 2 days, build brand new medical applications that let them interact with EHRs, VNAs, imaging viewers. And so the hackathon, and sometimes you just come and watch. It's not as quite as exciting as the movies, but you can actually see people as they develop their code. Maybe you just want to come at the end, because what will happen is at the end of the hackathon, there'll be a bunch of people in a room, and each team will present the work that they've done in this very short period of time. And it's pretty exciting, and there's cheering, and there's hurrahing, and it's
a competition.
It's a big competition.
And this takes place at our annual meeting coming up the end of June.
In Denver, Colorado.
Yeah, and so if they do want to participate, how do they do that?
Well,
participate in the hackathon.
So if you want to participate in a hackathon and you don't know how, and you want to actually be a part of the coding, send an email to info@siim.org and we'll help you. But if you're just at the meeting and you want to come by and watch, we'll have big signs up, and it's at the annual meeting, tends to have its own room. We move them around in different places. Make sure that they get a lot of Red Bull. They like the Red Bull.
Because they do work late into the night.
They work the whole meeting.
I'm just so impressed. Cool. Okay, so that was number 7. Number 8, join a committee. We just talked about all these new committees and task forces. We need more labor.
So people come up to me all the time. They say, Jim, how do I get more involved in SIIM? There's 10 different items, but I think this is probably one that probably appeals to a lot of folks. So we have, if you go to our website, under committees, you can see there's a broad list of them. We do everything from audit and compliance. We do finance and administration, but we also do machine learning. We do global ambassador. We do education. I can't even begin to name them, but this is a great way to look at what we're doing, and then just send us an email at info@siim.org and just say, I'd like to be on X committee. We're always grateful for people to help us out.
Yeah, find one that jives with your expertise, and
we'll
let
get
us
you signed
know.
up.
Yeah, absolutely. So number 9, be a guest speaker on SIIMcast.
And I've heard it's scary and intimidating to be on SIIMcast.
I did it. I didn't think it was so scary.
No, it was so easy. Arjun and Prasad, and I think now Jason Nichols is doing. I mean, it's so easy. The podcasts are great. They're fun to listen to, but they're really fun to do.
Yeah.
So if you have an idea about that you'd like to share with other people, we'll get you in. What can you do? Send us an email at info@siim.org, and we'll get you enrolled into the SIIMcast, because we desperately need more content there.
So they just did one with DICOM, the 2 DICOM experts that I listened to. Love that. And Wujin and Bill Boone just did one too.
Oh.
Yeah. So
probably on entrepreneurship?
I think so.
Yeah, they are just amazing with the stuff that they've done.
They're kind of up there in that world, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're ready for number 10.
My favorite. I need more Twitter followers. You need more Twitter followers.
Yes, please.
SIIM needs more Twitter followers. Just if all of the above just seems too much and too overwhelming, just follow us on SIIM Tweets. You'll get information about these and all the big news.
Absolutely.
Going on
and then they can please retweet and like and get their followers involved.
But keep it nice. Keep it nice.
Okay, yeah. That was one thing that came up yesterday.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. It did, didn't it?
A social media policy, right?
Everybody loves a new policy.
I know. So we'll keep it user-friendly. But yeah, definitely follow us and help us put the word out.
I would just say to our, if people are I think the SIIM brand is great. I think that when I look at people talking about SIIM throughout social media, I think we do a really, really nice job. We're very appropriate. But if you ever have any concerns, send me a direct message on Twitter or let me know, because we take it seriously and we want people to feel welcome in this community. We don't want people to feel bullied or harassed in any way. So let me know. And we want to make sure that we're good stewards of our name and our membership.
Absolutely. Yeah. And the other way we do push information out to our members is through our monthly member connection. And often that's where we are putting some of these updates for dates and so on for submitting abstracts and whatever. So be sure to look for the member connection for
I think that's a good idea.
Okay, so also on SIIM live last week, the IIP Bootcamp.
Oh my gosh, that's right. So it wasn't enough that we started with the National Imaging Informatics curriculum.
Not enough.
We've got the IIP Bootcamp. So let's talk a little bit about what that is. Because people at home are like, the IIP Bootcamp.
What is it?
It has nothing to do...
Have you taken it? Have you done it?
I have actually taught the boot
taught it,
camp,
okay.
Because
Yeah.
I'm old and I've done those things. So the boot camp is this idea of, let's say you're brand new to imaging informatics and you want to learn about, I need the basics. I need to know how to do this new job. Oftentimes we'll see, for example, people who are IT professionals that are just coming into imaging and this is their first job in imaging and they need a rapid course to tell them what is the sort of the minimum essentials to know about imaging. We also see sometimes people that are clinical, but they don't have a lot of IT background, and they need, what's the minimum IT I need to know to do this? The boot camp is designed in a very short period of time. Normally, we deliver it in one day in person.
At
the annual meeting. That you get everything you need to know, but now you can do it virtually. Online. It's SIIM.
Yeah.
Learning Management System, that's the technical term they use. It's crazy what these kids are doing these days.
Learn.sim.org. And isn't that also part of getting your SIP? Isn't there some connection with the boot camp, or am I not?
Well, there is a, we have to be careful about these things, because people are watching us and we're on, under the microscope. But so there is a certification out there for imaging informatics professionals, and there's an exam for it, which I've taken. It's very exciting.
Yeah.
And the boot camp helps train.
Did you pass? You said you took the exam. You didn't say if you passed.
Do we have to? Am I on the record? I did pass.
You
Actually,
did pass.
I was going to be so.
Just double checking.
I was super nervous though when I took the test, and I was even more nervous when I opened it.
They are a little.
It's embarrassing to say I teach this material, but I passed the.
Well, that's
or if
true.
I failed the test.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did pass. So which
Good.
was really good. But we have to be careful because the American Board of Imaging Informatics administers the test. They come out with what's called a course outline.
Yeah.
And so the boot camp is informed by that outline, but we can't, and we don't want to just teach to the test, right?
No.
So we have to be careful. It's a little bit technical, but they're related. But just in case anybody's watching,
Arm's length.
Arm's length is what they say.
Arm's length, yeah.
Yeah, that would we could do a dance like that.
That's right. Okay, and so SIIM's Hallmark coming up in a couple months.
The annual meeting?
The annual meeting,
My
June
first
26th through the 28th. Right.
I hope I don't get too nervous.
Do you have to give a keynote?
I think I do have to give a keynote. I hope nobody throws anything. Do you think they'll be like pranking
Rotten
on me or
eggs.
something like that?
I don't know.
I'm probably giving people ideas.
Yeah, no. Well, and so register by March 25th and
For
save
early bird?
$100.
Early bird pricing, as they
Early
say?
bird, right? And this year we're also, the price of membership and registration is less than the price of the non-member registration. So why not join?
You're telling me, wait, I just want to make sure if I understand.
Okay.
You're telling me that if I become a member of SIIM and I go to the meeting and I register for the meeting at the same time, I'm going to spend less if I did those two separately?
That's correct.
Oh my gosh.
See,
That's
right?
incredible. I mean, you should. We want you to be members.
Absolutely.
We love for you to come to the meeting. The meeting's phenomenal. It's a great time. But we have information year round, and you really don't get access to that unless you're a member.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And get all the discounts on SIMU and SIMIMI and all the good content that's coming.
It's really a no-brainer. You should join today.
Absolutely. You're on camera.
Just, does this make me look fat?
No comment.
Uh-oh. Did you see that?
What just walked by here?
Oh my gosh. Shouldn't we lock the doors?
I think so. So what are we looking at?
Oh my gosh.
What's coming? Big snowball.
All right, well.
I guess we keep going.
What's kind of interesting is if you can imagine, our viewers can't see this, but if you can imagine two people miming to each other across a glass wall, that's what
we just witnessed.
That's pretty good. That's pretty
Exactly. So I don't think you sleep. I think you're some deity that just keeps going and
Or
going.
that might explain my personality defects, don't you think?
Are we done?
Can we breathe?
I know it's been a long 2 days.
It has been a long 2 days.